Hi, everyone. My name is Meredith Fleischer, and I am the founder and director of the MF Gallery. And today we will be hosting English Lives with Didier Vanderperre. We're excited to talk with Didier about his journey, his process, and what drives his passion for storytelling through photography. Didier is a French-born photographer who has lived in New York since 1986. For over 30 years, he's traveled the world capturing stories through a single powerful image, often shooting subjects up close to create an intimate connection between people and their environment. His work has taken him to Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Xinjiang, Myanmar, exploring both distant cultures and stories close to home. So let's go ahead and invite Didier to the conversation. Hang on one second here. Let's see.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? We can't see your face.
Yes, I think I need to hold on a second. I need to change my camera.
Yeah, you got to flip your screen.
So, how do I split my camera?
We're having technical difficulties, everyone. Bear with us one moment.
Okay, how do I split my camera? I don't know how to do this. Is it in, I mean, I know how to split my camera, but is it in, because
I think you have to do it in Instagram. Maybe try the little arrows or the video button.
I just see the live button?
I don't know what you see on your end. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, we're having a little technical
Okay, here
problem
we go.
here. There we
Here we go.
go.
Here we go. Sorry about
Hi.
that.
Hi. It's nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Nice to meet you as
Oh, we froze. Hold on.
well. We're all good. We're all good. We're all good.
Okay. How are you? So are you in New York now? Where are you?
Yes, I'm in New York. I'm back home.
Okay.
I was traveling recently. I was in China. I came back 2 days ago.
Okay. Well, welcome back to the
Thank you.
States. I mean, I'm not in New York, but welcome back to the Eastern Time Zone.
Okay, thanks.
So tell us
But,
a little bit about yourself. I have some questions that, I have prepared. We can start with like a basic. What drew you to photography in the first place, and how did it evolve into storytelling for you?
well, I was always interested in photography. I studied photography very young. When my grandfather gave me a camera when I was 11 years old, and I wanted actually to become a professional photographer, which didn't happen because life is life and took me in a different direction. Uh,
Sure.
but I'd say between 11 and 21, I was pretty involved in photography, taking pictures regularly. And I kind of gave up photography for a long time, and I got back into it, like a lot of other people, when digital photography came into the picture. And it's about in 2025, so 20 years ago, that I studied again photography, and I got serious about it. And for me, this photography has always been very connected to travel. So
Mhm.
it was at the same time a matter of, you know, merging the two together, and one went with the other. And still today, I mean, most of my photography, most of it is street photography, but it's also very much travel photography, and it's just meeting people as well. I mean, through photography. And right now, I have the luxury that I pretty much dedicate all my time to photography.
Very cool.
I would say most of my time to photography. I have the time, and I'm taking advantage of it.
What did you, if you don't mind me asking, what did you do for a living while you were taking a break from photography?
I was working in international logistics,
Okay.
which also took me all over the world because
Okay.
I worked for an international company. And so that involved a lot of traveling for myself as well. But I was
Okay.
pretty busy. I also had a family, which took, a lot of my time. And that's why I kind of disconnected with photography for so long until, 2005, about when I got back into it.
Okay. Okay. Um, you often shoot your subjects up close. What what does that intimacy bring to an image for you?
Well, shooting close eliminates clutter in a lot of instances. Kappa used to say, if your image is not good enough, you're not close enough. I don't really go by that. I don't shoot exclusively close images.
Yeah,
I've got, I think, a nice blend of everything. I like complex images. I like layers. So complicated images where sometimes the detail makes the photograph. So being close, of course, yes, gives you proximity with your subject that you don't get otherwise. So that
sure.
helps. But my style, I think, has a good blend of different approaches, and in terms of distance to the subject. It's not exclusively close photography. I never do portraits. At least never do posed portraits, not my style at all. So if I get close, it's always spontaneous, off the cuff kind of pictures that I take.
Hmm. Okay. Um, how do you decide which moments or people to photograph?
I'm not a hunter in my style of photography. I'm more of a fisherman. So basically, the way I work, I like to find a scene with probably a background or something going on in the scene. And I like to work the scene, and I don't mind waiting for the shot to come together at that given time. So I'm more like of a patient guy
Okay.
who is waiting for the photo opportunity. And I think when you go out and shoot, you're going to run into a certain number of potential pictures during the day or during your walk, and you have to be ready and to get the picture at that moment. I'm not the kind of guy who walks and shoots randomly, and hopefully something gets into the camera. I'm more like I see something, a good background, something happening, some light, some reflections, and I work the scene until I get the picture. And usually, I work the scene until the scene stops giving you anything. As long as the scene works, I will work it. Uh, of course, being respectful of others and of what's
Sure.
happening. But I like to work the scene to get the picture I want.
Yeah. Um, I mean, when I went through your website, I noticed you primarily shoot in color. I mean, color is your first choice, obviously, correct? Or,
Yes
yeah.
and no. I started in black and white because I started a
Okay.
long time ago. So I started in black and white in film. And now, yeah, I shoot now. I've been shooting exclusively in color because, the equipment allows it. That's just as simple. I love black and white photography. I love black and white photographer. But I primarily, now I exclusively shoot in color because it's so easy. The technology, the cameras allow you to shoot ISO in color, and color is an inherent part of a picture. There are a number of elements in a picture, and color is one of them, and probably color and light go together,
Sure.
and probably one of the most important element of that you can have in a picture. So for me today, stripping color of a picture is getting rid of one of the most important elements of the picture. So I see no reason of doing it. And I think it would be a lot more difficult to come up with good pictures with less element and removing colors. I think it's, for me, it would be harder to get the picture without the color than with the color.
It's interesting when you talk to different photographers about their preference over color and black and white. You know, there's a very different aesthetic. It's a different feeling. You know, and I think for travel, you know, because a lot of it is travel photography, you know, that's where you seem to photograph the most. You're capture it's a you're capturing like all of the elements in the environment as opposed to stripping them away. It's just a very different type of visual technique, you know.
Yes, I mean, for example, when you're in India, shooting India in black and white would make absolutely no sense. When you're in New York, shooting New York in black and white makes perfect sense because so many people have shot New York in black and white, and still, as of today, a lot of New York City photography is done in black and white. But you are right, yes, as travel photography, color is very often essential in the end result, and especially, you know, some countries like India are so colorful that would be crazy not to shoot in color.
It's funny that you say that. I was doing a portfolio review not too long ago, and I had actually recommended to this photographer because he had a lot of color photography from India to try to do some in black and white and see what it felt like. You know, you don't see a lot of India in black and white. I would love to see that because we're immersed with India in color. You know,
Right.
what happens to the mood when we strip those colors away? You
True.
know?
True. True. Yeah.
And it would be an interesting experiment, you know.
Yeah.
It
No, it
might
might.
not
Yeah.
work, I
Yeah.
don't know. But
It would be. It would be.
have you ever tried shooting India in black and white or
No.
no?
No, I never did. I never did.
No.
I shot New York City in black and white. I shot Paris in black and white. It's about the two cities I ever shot in black and white. But no, India, I never tried in black and white, to be honest.
um, let's see. Do you ever, well, you kind of already answered this, but do you ever plan a shoot in advance or do you let the scene guide you? You let the scene guide you, pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you balance capturing unique imagery with respecting the people that you photograph?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's very important. I mean, as I said, I never hide myself when I take a picture. That's number one. I never steal the picture. I'm not the kind of guy who's got a long lens and hiding around the corner of the street and try to steal the picture. Not at all. As you said before, I shoot up close and sometimes very close. So you see that, I mean, the people who I photograph are always aware that I'm here and I photograph them. So I think that's one of the very important things that you show respect right there by, you know, being totally open to them and show them that you're taking a photograph. I never take a photograph of a person who doesn't want to be photographed. I mean, and it happens, you know, regularly that you just lift your camera up to take a picture and person says no. If the person says no, then it's no. I mean, just as simple as that. I have my own quote unquote rules of engagement. I never take pictures of people in, you know, situations or degrading situation, like homeless people who are obviously, you know, outcast of society, etc., etc. So that's another thing. And also taking picture very often, you know, draws you closer to people and get into connection and contact people and interaction that you normally wouldn't have. So no, I'm very respectful of people, and if I feel that, you know, I told you before, I work a scene as long as it's giving me something and providing something. But if I feel that at some point I make the people uncomfortable, then that's when the scene stops giving and I stop. I mean, there's no need to go any further. But
Yeah.
very often it's the contrary, is that the fact that you take somebody's picture actually make them interested, make them curious, and you have interaction with them that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah. Interesting. Have you ever had any situations where you sort of like a bad interaction with a person when they caught you photographing them, or no?
Very rare, I would say. I mean, many times you have people who say, "Please don't take my picture," and as long as you respect that, uh, I, uh, I don't take the picture. If I ever take the picture and they ask me to delete it, I delete it. It's just as simple as that. And as long as you're respectful and you respect their wishes, there are no reason to have any confrontations. And I really never had any. I mean, very serious confrontation. Absolutely no, I didn't.
Okay. So, let's see. Let's get into your like more of your travel experiences. Your work has taken you across Asia. What's one encounter that has stayed with you the most?
Well, Asia, I've been to a lot of places in Asia, and I continue to travel to Asia. Asia is it's one of my favorite places to travel and photograph because it's easy, and it's also safe. My favorite country in Asia is probably Myanmar,
Okay.
where you cannot really go any longer for the time being. But Myanmar is probably one of my favorite places in Asia. And it actually was one of the first country I visited there as well. So for the first time, I was in Myanmar in 2007.
Okay.
So very shortly after I picked up photography again.
Okay. Do you have any like moments that act like that particularly that stick out from from a trip? Like a really memorable experience?
Not especially that I would come to mind right now. Yes, you have every trip you take, you have some moments that are special because you're invited to somebody's house, because you run into this situation, because your car broke down, because whatever. So these are the surprises of traveling, but really like a special moment that's engraved in my mind that is truly special. No, I said every trip is special in itself.
Yeah. When you travel, so now when you travel, do you typically travel alone to shoot, or do you travel because you love to travel and then you also shoot?
No, I prefer not to travel alone because traveling alone is a little bit boring, to be honest, and especially if you're gone for a long time. I mean, I live in New York, and to go to Asia is a long way.
Hmm.
So, I'm not going to Asia for a couple of days. I usually go at least for a couple of weeks, if not more. So what I started doing is I took a lot of workshops at the beginning with a photographer called Maciej Dakowicz, who's pretty recognized in the world of travel and street photography. So I took a bunch of workshops with him, and he taught me a lot, actually. Well, I probably should say almost everything I know technically about photography. So he was a
What was
great
his
teacher.
what was his name again? I'm sorry.
Maciej Dakowicz is a
Okay.
Polish photographer.
Okay.
And now, through his workshops, I met many other photographers, over the years, and made friends. Again, that's the other side of the connections of that you make through photography. And now we're a group of friends, and we like to organize trips together
Oh, okay.
regularly. So we always in contact with one another, and we put trips together among photographers. So we're having a great time traveling with friends. And usually, no, we travel in very small group, 3, 4, 5 people. I was just came back from China We were three friends, including myself, and that's great. Yeah. So yeah, most of the time, no, I don't travel. I mean, by myself. What I may do is arrive earlier or leave later and take a week by myself to go to a special place that people have already visited that I haven't or whatever. But I can spend a few days by myself. But usually the trip is with other people. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Do you prefer, so in general, do you prefer shooting with other people or
Oh
not
no, no,
necessarily?
no. I travel with people. I shoot alone.
Okay. Okay. That's what I was
Well,
thinking. Like, oh, I don't know.
no,
I
no, no, no.
could.
We're all the same. We're all, seasoned travelers, guys who've been all over the place. So
Sure.
what we do is we travel together, we go to places together, we stay in the same hotel, we drink beers at night together. But when it comes time to go out and shoot, if one goes right, the other one goes left.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
So we meet afterwards, but no, we shoot alone. We shoot alone,
Okay.
and
Got
I much prefer shooting alone because you don't get in each other's way, and it's much better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I don't like to shoot with
yeah,
people
no,
either.
no,
It's kind of like a solo gig, you know?
yeah.
Um, how does photographing unfamiliar cultures challenge or change you as an artist?
I don't think it necessarily changes me as an artist. I think it may changes me more as a person. Uh,
Change or challenge?
challenge. No,
Or
I think
either?
either. Well, challenge, no, not really. I mean, again, the more you travel, the more accustomed you get to other culture, other people, other habits. And again, you have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
That can be a challenge in itself. I mean, for example, if you see a woman in North Africa or an Arabic country and she veils herself as you take a picture, that's a clear sign that she doesn't want to be photographed.
Mhm.
Okay. Whereas if you're in India and a woman puts a scarf over her head, that's exact contrary. She makes herself pretty because she wants you to take a picture. So
Mm,
all these little details and gesture and body language you see from people, that's something you have to get used to and understand and interpret correctly.
yeah.
So that's important. Sometimes I have a guide also with me. I've done that also besides friends traveling with a guide or a fixer that explains you the lay of the land.
Mhm.
So the challenge is more in photography in different cultures how to interpret and to understand the local culture so you don't make a huge mistake that
Yeah.
will lead to a misunderstanding and potential problems. So
Sure.
that's a problem. Uh, for if I answer your question regarding changes, yes, personally, travel photography changes you a lot because it's a way to discover the world, to get an understanding of other people, to be more understanding, more accepting, and have a broader view of the world, and to have more acceptance of people's differences. And for example, if you take today's situation with the war in Iran and this whole Muslim thing, I got to say the countries where I've been, the Muslim countries have been is where I've met probably the most welcoming people.
Mm.
And that's not something that's very often transmitted in the media or in the real world.
Yeah.
Uh, but Muslim people are extremely welcoming. Whether you are in Central Asia or in Indonesia or in the Middle East, people are very nice.
Yeah.
So that gives you a much broader view and real understanding of the different cultures and people who they are and how they live. Yeah, so that changes you for sure.
Yeah. That's interesting about I didn't know that if a woman put the scarf on her head, she's making herself more attractive.
In India, yes. In India, yes.
That's so
In India.
interesting. I didn't know
I mean,
that.
not
Yeah.
bare her face, but when she puts the
Right.
scarf over her head, she makes herself pretty and she wants you to take a picture. Whereas if you
Interesting.
do that in Morocco or in Algeria, Tunisia, that's the exact contrary. That's the clear sign that no, you're not taking my picture.
Wow. And so, did somebody tell you, like, how did you know? Like, was it just from through observing, or did somebody tell you, or
Yeah, no,
like,
through
how do
observing.
you
I mean,
learn?
it's like,
Huh.
because I remember actually, I think I was in Kochi, and again, you got to be careful where you are because if you're in a Muslim neighborhood,
Yeah.
it's not even in India, it's not the same reaction if you're in an Hindu neighborhood. I'm talking about an Hindu woman.
Okay.
Uh,
Right. Right.
though I believe Muslim women in India tend to react to photography, tend to react the same as Hindu women if they put a veil on her face, a scarf on her face. She makes herself look pretty. It's because after that, I saw a woman would put a scarf on her face and then she would pose. And I
Mm.
said, okay, I got this one wrong. She actually wants me to take a picture, so I will.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I learned along the way also. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Let's see what we got here. Are there differences between photographing faraway lands versus stories close to home?
Yes.
Or what are those differences? Like in
Yeah, there
your
are differences because when you're in a faraway land, you go to one place once. And that usually that's it, unless you make it yourself a life project to return back to the same place. But normally you visit the country, you go to a certain number of places, city or sites, and you take your pictures and you come back home and that's basically it. And the next time you go to somewhere else. So basically you get the outsider view of that place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a cliche, but maybe you get a little bit the postcardy view of the place. It's more superficial, more, I mean, prettier, put things together.
Sure.
Whereas close to home, you get to know the lay of the land a lot better. For example, I'm doing a project on Chinatown in New York City, and I've been going back to Chinatown several times a week for 5 years. And that is totally different approach because you get to dig a lot deeper over and over and over again, and you approach your subject totally differently. And then you have a much more in-depth uh, body of work and a much more in-depth approach to the photography this way, rather than when you are in a foreign country, you're there for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then you go back home. So you don't, you don't approach the subject the same way.
Yeah. Where are you in Manhattan? Where are you in New York?
No, I'm in Westchester County.
Oh, okay,
So I'm
Westchester.
about half an hour north of Manhattan.
Yeah, okay. Um, let's see. What's the most unexpected story you've found while traveling?
Unexpected story. Again, every trip gets his load of surprises, good or bad. Sometimes you go to places you think you're going to end up getting great pictures because this or that, and you ended up either it's you or the place that disappoints, and sometimes you have very pleasant surprises. Uh, some countries really surprise you. For example, again, I mentioned I just got back from China. I had traveled to China before, mostly for work. Never spent any lengths of time in China except in Xinjiang, and it's an incredible country. The mix of old and new, and this how incredibly efficient country it is and modern it is with their EVs and their huge towers and technology. And at the same time, you go around the corner and it's old China from the 19th century.
Yeah.
Uh, so you got those. I mean, that was a surprise to me. I kind of expected it in the research I had done, but that was a surprise to me. So yeah, so surprises, and sometimes surprise you. The photographer becomes the guy who's being photographed.
Right.
I mean, in India, it's very common, but in some other countries, we mentioned Myanmar before. I mean, people were very surprised to see. The first time I went was almost 20 years ago. That was at the very, very beginning when Myanmar was opening to tourism. People didn't see tourists at all.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting. How do you choose your equipment, and why do you often favor the wide angle lenses?
I'm not a gearhead. Let's put it this way. I firmly believe camera doesn't matter. Gear doesn't matter. The camera doesn't matter. I mean, I think today's age, you can any camera in any format, whether micro four third or APS-C or full frame, will yield excellent results no matter what. Doesn't matter the brand. Doesn't matter anything. So I don't have to have a camera with a red dot on it, if you see what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. I do, and
So,
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I
so
mean,
for me, gear doesn't matter. So I have two cameras. The way I work, I have two cameras. They are identical. They're exact same cameras. I have a 28 millimeter on one, a 40 millimeter on the other. And I shoot mostly 28 millimeter and I only shoot prime lenses. I, I can shoot a zoom once in a while because if I'm on a boat, for example, and I can't move
yes.
freely, then the zoom becomes very handy. But otherwise, if I'm on terra firma, I shoot a prime, and then you get accustomed to the focal length you're shooting. So again, and it doesn't matter which focal length you shoot, whether it's 28, 35, 50, doesn't matter. Because you're going to get used to it and it's going to be your focal length. My focal length of choice for a while was a 35 and I went down to a 28 because I like to put more into the frame. I like
Yeah.
complex framing with layers and people in different places in the
Yeah.
picture and separation. And the 28 gives me more space to work with, but
Yep.
that's me. That's my preference. And in those complex scenes, I think the 28 works slightly better than the 35. That's a little bit too tight. Uh, that's my preference. But anything works. It depends on the photographer. It's just like you're talking color or black and white, and it's exactly the same thing. It's
Yeah.
whatever works for the particular photographer that's handling the camera.
Yeah. Um, I mean, we kind of touched on this, but how has photography shaped the way that you see people and the world?
Yeah, I mean, gives you, as I said, a much broader understanding of the world, of the different culture, acceptance, accepting differences of religion, of culture, of eating habits, of everything, and you quickly come to realize that you don't live in the center of the world, and that your own culture, your own environment is not necessarily the perfect model. Far from that. And then, and you see plenty of people who are not as well off materially speaking as we are perfectly happy and have, it's incredible. You can see people who don't even have a roof over their head to live in. And they have a family life, which is tight. And these people go about their lives and they are close to one another. They love one another, obviously, and they have a family life and they're happy, but they'd like to have more. Yes, of course, but material things doesn't matter as much as we may think sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, my dog is like hovering over me right now. I'm trying to like
All
get
right,
him.
I love dogs.
um, let's see. What advice would you give to aspiring photographers trying to tell meaningful sorry, I couldn't get that out. What advice would you give to aspiring photographers trying to tell them meaningful stories?
shoot, shoot, and shoot. There is
Right.
no substitute to that. If you want the picture and if you want to take meaningful pictures, powerful pictures, practice. There is nothing else. I mean, you can look at books, you can take courses, but at the end of the day, you got to uh, get your shoes on and beat the beat. I mean, it's practice is everything. Practice
Yeah.
makes perfect, as we say in English, right?
Right. Right. And even
And
then,
I
it's
think
almost
there's
impossible.
no substitute to that. It's just you have to, and it's for everything and whatever discipline. I mean, you're not becoming a pianist without practicing, right? So any craft needs to be practiced, and then it's not even once you have reached a certain level and you're used to something, you have to keep shooting because if you stop shooting, you're going to lose your eye anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a really kind of a non-stop thing if you want to keep your game up because when the picture comes up and the occasion comes up and the scene presents itself, you have to be ready. And then, if you have to know your camera in and out, of course, that's a prerequisite, but that's takes you an hour. If you read the manual and you take it out a couple of times, you're good to go. But after that, knowing exactly what's in the frame, and very often, I mean, I can press the shutter on my camera without even looking through the viewfinder. I know I have the picture. I don't need to necessarily look at the viewfinder. I can just
Yeah.
extend my arm out, and I know I'm shoot, and I know I got the picture, especially with a 28. Uh,
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Do you
practice.
do do you do much with post production or editing?
No, not too much. I mean,
No.
I use Lightroom like everybody else. I crop. I don't mind cropping. I mean, I know there are some purists who refuse to crop. I don't mind cropping at all. I mean, that's what the technology gave us, so many megapixels. So if I have to take a chunk of the picture out, I'll do it. Uh, but I don't manipulate my images. I mean, I don't remove subjects.
Yeah.
I will play with, light, shadows, contrast, saturation,
Yeah.
but no, I'm not gonna make a composite and fake a picture. No.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite photographers? Who's inspired you?
So many, because I'm a huge fan of photo books, and I look at photo books every day. Uh, but I mean, in color photography, the two that would come to mind immediately would be Alex Webb and Harry Griert,
Mhm.
probably the two photographers that I feel that when I look at their work, it's pretty impressive. But I discover new photographers all the time, and as I said, I love black and white photography. There are tons of black and white photographers that I really like.
Mhm.
Uh, the old masters, but even more recent photographers. I mean, recently I discovered Sage Sawyer, a guy like Jason Eskenazi. Have done like incredible work. So yeah, I'm very eclectic. Very eclectic. Actually, it's also, I mean, photo books and looking at other people's work is a good way to improve your photography as well.
Mhm.
To get a different perspective, a different taste. For example, I mean, like at the time, I've been looking at more, I mean, at younger American photographers who work on long-term projects. In America, guys like Brian Scriptmat or Jenny Tempo or Matt Heisch, people like that who have a more documentary style, saying that it's also very, very interesting. Younger generations, younger photographers.
Do you you said you do workshops. You don't have any books published, do you? And is that something that you would do?
No, I don't have any books published. I'm about to finish this project on Chinatown, and
Oh, right. That's
I hope it will lead to a book that I will
okay.
probably self-publish.
Okay.
Um, so that would be my first book that I would publish, but I have never published anything so far.
And is the Chinatown project, is that in color or black and white or both?
It's in color. It's in color. Yeah.
It is in color.
So
Okay.
all in color. Yeah. So basically, it's just spent the last 5 years documenting the whole vanishing New York City, Chinatown, that's
Yeah.
very, very quickly disappearing or mostly disappeared by now. All
Really?
replaced by bubble tea shops and things like that. These whole mom and pop shops that were everywhere in Chinatown for so long because Chinatown had not really, in New York City at least, changed all that much. And now it has, I mean, since COVID, it has changed a lot. Yeah.
Really? I haven't been
Well,
back in like, I lived in New York for almost 10 years, like 16 years ago. Um, and I haven't been back in like 7 years. And I'm like terrified that I'm just going to go and I'm going to not even recognize where I am anymore.
Well, New York City always changes a lot. That's the thing about New York City. It's always on the move, and you always turn the corner. There's a new restaurant, a new store,
I
and
know.
everything.
I know.
But actually, Chinatown was one of the places in New York City that was very traditional, very
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think COVID changed everything because a lot of those old mom and pop stores went bust during COVID.
Yeah.
Uh, and that they took a hard hit during COVID, and now they're being replaced by those uh, big Asian brands. They're still Asian, Chinese
Hmm.
theme stores, but bubble teas, big brand of jewelry stores,
Yeah.
or things like that that we never had before. So it's changing very quickly.
Hmm. Interesting. I look forward to seeing this project when it comes out.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope it's going to come out soon. I've been procrastinating on it, I have to say.
I mean, you said 5 years you've been documenting Chinatown?
Yeah, yeah. I started during COVID because actually I couldn't travel,
Right.
so
Oh, okay.
I had cabin fever, so I had to go out,
Yeah.
and I went to Chinatown. So
Interesting.
I started in 2021, right in the middle of COVID.
Yeah. If you could capture one more place or story in your lifetime, what would it be? Like, what's like the one place that you
Where I
feel
haven't been, a place where I have not been yet, or
correct? Yeah, that you have not been.
I've been to a lot of places. I mean, still a lot of places on my bucket list. I mean, I think today China is the new El Dorado for street photographers. I don't think people know it yet. Maybe I shouldn't spread the word too much, but it's really there are very little tourism. I mean, Western tourism. There's a ton of domestic tourism in China, but relatively very, very few Western tourists in China. Actually, I was in Guangdong and Fuzhou, and in Fuzhou, I didn't see a single Westerner. So,
Wow.
during my week there. So, and at the same time, as I said, it's just this mix of old and new that's super interesting in China. And I think the old is also, it's just like Chinatown, it's disappearing very quickly. And I think it's the time to capture it. Yeah.
So wait, so you've been to China though, right? That's what
Yeah,
you
but
said.
China's so big. I mean, it's just like India. It's just like the US. I mean, I've barely scratched the surface, to be honest.
Sure. But
I've been
like
several times to China.
outside of China, where would you go?
I would love to go back to Myanmar. That's the country that I loved, and I've been there several times. Uh, but if I have the opportunity to go back, I would definitely go back to Myanmar because it's a very special country. It's people are wonderful, but people are wonderful everywhere. Uh, it's uh, it's kind of a given. I never had a bad experience in any country with people. People are always nice. Uh, but Myanmar is really a special country in terms it's really quiet, and you've got the culture, and you've got the light, and the people are so friendly. It's a country that's yeah, really special, very nice.
Do you have your next trip planned? Do you have a trip planned?
Yes, I'm gonna go back to Japan in September. I will be going to Europe, but that's more for family purpose in the spring in May. Yes, I try to plan my trips in advance. But yeah, I try to always have a few in the pipe. So I go to Europe in May and back to Japan in September. Yeah,
And how many times have you been to Japan?
that will be my third time.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Tokyo, where do you go? Tokyo or?
Well, I've been to Tokyo and Osaka. I mean, the usual culprits, the regular Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto. And this time I think I'm going to go to Kyushu, the southern island, and do a tour of Kyushu.
Very
Um,
cool.
yeah, Fukuoka and all those places.
Well, I'm out of questions. So, do you have anything else that I didn't touch on that you want to talk about? We still have a
No,
few
that
minutes.
comes to mind right away that I want to express. No, no, especially we have covered a lot of ground. I mean, thank you very much for your time and for your questions. I'm glad you invited me to the interview.
Yeah,
It's very nice thanks to Street Macadam.
absolutely.
And,
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time and your work, and we're here to support the community and yeah.
well, thanks for having me again. It was a pleasure being with you, and we'll keep in touch and try to put more pictures online and
Yeah,
maybe to share more work with you guys.
absolutely. We would love to see and thank you again. We loved having you today.
Okay, thank you very much, Meredith.
Okay, thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye.